And then I was like, oh, now I have to figure out how to do that. Which, luckily...
All right.
Yeah. So we are recording.
Okay. We get this.
Yeah. I guess you come to this park a lot.
Yeah, I live right down the street. But I thought this is kind of an interesting gas station to start at because of the election day celebration.
Oh, this was the one.
Yeah, this is where the...
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's
So do you want to slate it up?
Yeah, let me slate real quick. And I just use my little knife and my dog whistle here. Mark. And that should be good enough.
Perfect.
This was the one, huh?
Yeah.
I was in Albuquerque.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so Central Avenue, which is, come on, bud, which is the main street that goes all through Albuquerque. They were just having a parade and playing the Fuck Donald Trump song, and everybody was cheering. And University of New Mexico is right along, so right at the college, people were losing their minds.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wondered. I kind of wondered, like, what non-LA places or non-New York places were doing, and because Albuquerque probably has a few more Trump supporters running around than LA.
Well, I think New Mexico just recently turned blue.
Interesting.
Yeah, and any big city like Albuquerque is going to be blue no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think even Boise, Idaho, is blue.
Well.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
So far, so good.
So, like, we live close. So for those that are listening, we are in Los Feliz, California.
Nice, thank you.
And if you're not in LA and you're wondering where we are, kind of near Little Dom's, which is kind of a well-known celebrity hang, fancy Italian restaurant.
I did not know that it was a celebrity hang, but okay.
Yeah, like John Hamm's there all the time, people like that,
They get the Little Dom's special treatment.
Yeah, they get the nice meal. And so, on election day...
Well, on the results day.
On the day the results came in, the Saturday.
Because I saw so many of my friends posting pictures, basically kind of all around, but then I saw like a 76 station. This was it, huh?
Yeah, so, there's this gas station that's kind of in Los Feliz, which is East Hollywood, kind of hipstery, young.
Right on the edge, though, of a lot of affluence.
Yeah. It's like it's the Brooklyn of LA to a certain extent.
Isn't it?
And so we got out of our apartment. We're not far from there. We start walking. And we hear all this honking and all this noise. Well, I mean, like, the weird thing was, I have a dog, and Nute, who we're walking right now with.
Who had to be walked?
Yeah. I woke up because there was a football game on, and I'm from Nebraska. And so the game was on at 9 in the morning, and so I was up at 8.
To get ready?
And as the results were being announced, it's like they were finally calling the states. I was awake, and I called my girlfriend Lisa was still asleep, and I was like, Lisa, get up, wake up. And she's like, she thought I was just trying to. She's like, I don't want to watch the football game with you,
I don't need this.
And
good morning.
Morning. And so, I'm like, no, the results. And she gets up and she's like, oh my God. And we were both very excited. And so we then you hear through, like, for the next,
2 or 3 hours.
2 or 3 hours, like, every once in a while someone wakes up and you hear, like, the scream or, like, a car horn honk or, like, just random noises. So we get Nute.
So as people wake up, they are celebrating.
Everyone is, like, screaming in celebration. We get Nute, we put him on a leash, we go out for a walk. There's a woman probably in her 60s, silver hair, all purple outfit, dancing on the sidewalk, you know, like headphones on, pumping her fists in the air. I said, like, this is the first election where, like, the first people to know about the results in LA were anyone who had a dog.
That's a funny little
yeah. It was all dog owners walking around the street, and we're all laughing as we hear everyone else who doesn't have a dog wake up. And there was like this. I mean, there was one point where I walked by this bay window. I didn't mean to be a creep, but
they were obviously fucking partying down.
I watched this woman. She walks towards the front of the apartment, to her bay window, and she's kind of like in her bathrobe, and she looks down at her phone, and she screams because I'd literally watched the moment
that she found out,
that she realized what had happened, and I was like. And I was like, we made eye contact. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to look in your window. And she's like, no, it's great. I don't care. Like, she was just so excited. But yeah, you just kind of like watched as everyone realized. Every once in a while, you just. Oh, and what's weird is Tuesday night we took Nute for a walk the night of the election, and we were like, it is so quiet,
just grim.
Yeah,
just like. Pensive, like, where are we going? What's going to happen?
Truly white knuckling it, you know, like. Yeah, just everyone is just aggressively worried, you know.
That hat is fantastic, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. How's it going? Class war, no war, but class war?
Yeah,
yes.
It's by
with a NASCAR logo, basically.
Yeah, it's by this guy named Teenage Stepdad.
Oh, yeah. I follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, he does a lot of really great stuff. I bought this and a t-shirt from him, so.
Well, I'll reach out to him and see if I can get him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because he's probably local.
Yeah. But, so then we started to walk from... We went home. We're like, well, let's walk around like the neighborhood. I finished watching the football game, of course, and we lose.
Football is more important than the presidency.
I mean, yeah, politics are a sham. Football's real.
Yeah, if we could just settle all of politics with some kind of, like a game. Maybe it's lethal.
Yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, gladiator style shit.
If fucking Trump had to fucking beat the shit out of Biden to be president, I mean, I'm sure he could.
Well, we'd finally have a president who's not 90. So.
Yeah, that's true. Problem is, we'd have Buttigieg, and he would have used like some kind of poison needle that the CIA gave him.
Oh yeah, no, he's like 100% hidden poison blade sort of shit.
I would love that if he runs for president again. That's his campaign slogan: 100% poison needle blade.
So we walk through our neighborhood.
Come on, bud.
And things are getting louder and louder, and we can hear just cars honking. We pull onto Hillhurst, and the car is going all the way down Hillhurst with flags hanging out. And that was one weird thing, was that all of a sudden people had American flags again, which is something that I haven't seen in 4 years amongst liberals, you know, we all sort of stopped.
Well, because it represented some garbage. I was having a conversation with somebody about probably about a month and a half ago. It's like, is it possible to repurpose the flag?
Yeah.
You know, to resurrect it from this fucking, rah-rah fucking MAGA bullshit.
I mean, it for sure is. We are a mercurial country, you know.
This is true. I will contend that as far as flags goes, ours is pretty ugly.
Yeah, ours is
it's just real
garish.
It's like dumb. It's like it has no design style to it. If the colors are just kind of like meh.
Well, yeah, and we just kind of like, it's like a bad high school poetry thing.
Yes, that's a great way of comparing it.
Where it's like, oh, well, what if we put all the metaphors on it? Because, like, we could have just kept it like, the original one, that one's okay, I guess.
With the circle stars?
The circle stars, like, once you start shoving 50 stars onto it, then it's like, oh,
well,
okay.
then where do you put 51? And, like, it's like, I feel like we've capped out now because 50 is some kind of weird, even number that you could put in a field on the fucking... So we will never make Puerto Rico a state because it won't fit, or D.C.
Yeah, Puerto Rico and D.C. are fucked because they don't graphically fit with our country.
Come on, bud. Let's go.
You ready to go?
Yeah, we've already done an hour hike today. I don't know if it's not that he's tired, it's that I don't normally put him on a leash. But this is definitely leash territory.
Yeah. There's too much traffic right now.
Yeah. So real quick, I want to tell a real quick story. We'll get back to the...
sorry.
So years ago, that 76 station has a very personal mythology for me. I was with my buddy Nate. God, I can't remember. This is probably like 89, 90. I was like 19 or 20.
Yeah.
And we had taken a bunch of acid.
Oh, as one does.
Yeah, and we were driving around. We were like, let's go to Griffith Park, Griffith Observatory. And so we're driving around. And for whatever reason, Nate decides to drive on this grass medium. And he's like, zipping around the trees.
Probably has something to do with the acid.
And it was a good time for sure. Come on, bud. I know, you're looking at the shade there and you want shade. There will be shade ahead. Aww. I swear. And one of these trees up here, I'll point it out when we get to it, he just fucking went right into it. Oh, bam! Jesus. Like, it was like, oh, there's a tree. Boom, hit it. At the time, probably a 1.5 foot oval bark just came right out.
Oh, no.
Just immediately. So there you could see... whatever, this 30 years later, the welted, ingrown spot. I came up here years ago and saw it, and I was like, holy shit. But it's like one of the ones like right at the end. I can't remember if it's Hillhurst or Vermont. But yeah, I came back years later and I saw the spot and I was like, oh, great. So what we did is we walked down to that 76 station. We called our friends Bob and Tony. And they came and picked us up, and I told Nate, just report your car stolen in the morning. And we did it, and he never got busted. But I will say 6 months later, his parents talked him into going into the military.
Yeah.
Because his life was a mess.
It's a mixed bag.
Yeah. Well, he became a fireman, and he's one of my favorite graphic artists.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. He's got 2 amazing kids. So it did work. The whole military thing. But I lost my good acid buddy. And of course, I continued to take as much drugs as I could. Oh, wait, maybe this is it.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
You see that? You see that welts on the side there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it. Because I think what it was is he was going to try to go between the 2 trees.
So this is Aberdeen and Hillhurst.
Oh, there it is. Okay, good.
So if anyone is in LA and wants to find it.
Yeah, it's the last tree on the northbound median.
Before Aberdeen.
But then I realized, that's probably what these welts are. Not necessarily from cars, but like from things hitting it or a branch falling off. I learned about arborism.
Cars, trees always try to heal themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like the United States. Back to... so people were just partying down.
So it's just people with signs. There's this one, and if you Google Los Feliz or Los Angeles 76 gas station election celebration, I guarantee you can watch all these videos. But the whole intersection of Los Feliz and Hillhurst
was just blocked.
Basically, bumper traffic and people dancing, and there's this one Prius that's parked there and people are dancing on it.
Oh shit.
What's weird, which he had brought Nute, and he did not enjoy it at all.
No.
So we couldn't stay too long. we kind of like, we were there, saw it, he got freaked out by everybody and all the noise. And then we headed home. But then I got home, like, there were all these people who were like opening up champagne bottles, and I guess the liquor store
completely sold out.
Sold out of champagne, more champagne than it had sold New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like one of the biggest days in Cap and Cork, which is kind of like a liquor store near there. And
yeah, finally people get a chance to let loose.
Yeah, people
are it's, you know, the way what I've been comparing it to is like when you're in an abusive relationship, like an abusive stepfather or whatever, when they finally decide to fucking leave or move or they get arrested or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just like, yes! The fucking tyranny is over.
Yeah, and it's not even that the world is better, it's just the absence of impending violence is gone, you know?
Yes.
Like,
you know, he's like a chaotic drunk just wandering through the house looking for the next fucking kid to pick on.
Right.
Yeah, you're fat. You're stupid. You're probably going to be gay.
Yeah.
You know? Just that fucking shit, fucking narcissistic. You know, and those people create a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
Because then it's like they focus the energy on you so you don't look at them.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you're just a moving target for it. So.
Yeah. I am happy at the results of the election. Biden wasn't my guy, but anybody's got to be better than a fucking turd with a fucking hairpiece.
Sure.
But really seeing the relief and joy in people's eyes that day, I was like, oh, America's back. You know, like what it means, like, what are we going to do about these 70 million people that fucking voted for him? I don't know. I'm just thinking re-education camps. Just kidding.
Well, I think that, you know, Biden, I'm a democratic socialist.
Yeah, DSA, baby.
So, you know, obviously, Biden is not my dude. But, like, I think that the upside of Biden is that no one seems satisfied with him.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas, like, let's say Kamala or Warren or Pete gets elected, there's a good chunk, I think, of people who would have just been like, okay, this is good. These guys seem progressive enough. Yeah. And they check out. But Biden doesn't satisfy almost anyone, except for the fact that he's not Trump.
Well, I'd say he's a corporatist at the very... again, like, corporations can thrive both in chaos or in order.
Right.
Yeah, so they're going to be fine. I'm not worried about them too much.
Yeah. So I think that's good in a way, because I think it keeps everybody engaged in a way. You know, everyone was like, people just want to go back to having brunch. And you're like, I don't think that's going to happen with Biden, because I don't think he has the acumen to satiate the desires of leftists in any way, or even marginally leftists.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
because he's a fucking moderate Democrat from Delaware who was brought up in the fucking corporatocracy, and he's a
Reagan era Dem.
Reagan era Dem, and he voted in the crime bill. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a corporate guy.
Yeah.
He's going to get his fucking watch when he retires.
Yeah, he's government as a bureaucracy guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I think to a certain extent that's good, because it keeps everybody engaged. You know, we'll survive the next 4 years. They're not going to be fun, I don't think. I think that the pandemic is going to drag on. The economy will get in the shitter pretty solidly, and then they'll dump it on the Democrats for not fixing it. But, you know, we can, you know, like, to me, the midterms are where
the action is, yeah.
The leftists have to, like, find their action, because that's where the margin is greater. Like, if you can bump left-leaning turnout in a midterm, you can actually affect things.
Want to go down the road?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, it feels like nice and
Yeah.
middle of the road. I can let him off the leash and
Yeah, we're going up by the golf course here.
yeah. It's I would say I hike, and this park is on the podcast a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, because it's the closest to my house, but I'm always up near the equestrian side. Because I can just come off of Forest Lawn,
Yeah.
stop at Train Town or whatever.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time on the river because there's a couple little secret paths to the river over there.
I have yet to go to the Train Town thing.
Oh, well, yes, it's accessible from this side. It's a haul though.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest hikes I've done through Griffith Park is started at Train Town, Rattlesnake Trail.
Yeah.
Went to the Hollywood sign, came down through like Hollywood Reservoir area and ended up in Franklin Village.
Oh, nice.
It was like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a long jaunt.
And we didn't bring any water, right, bud?
Oh, no.
But he did all right. We got water when we got down to the bottom. And there's a couple, the weird thing is because Griffith Park is an actual water district,
Yeah.
you don't need to drive so fast.
Yeah.
There's all these pipes that go around, and there's these little secret there's all the horse troughs,
Yeah.
but like little secret pipes that have been leaking and formed a little bowl. And so, he was finding all the water sources like a good tracker. Yeah, I think whatever Biden is what is called for right now, because we do. Have you seen the Death of Stalin? Right.
I haven't actually seen it yet.
Oh,
I
it's
know.
so great.
I know. I'm so lazy about it.
But it's also all of our favorite. It's Iannucci. It's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Buscemi. It's got star power to it.
Yeah, Tambor and
Yeah. Well, Tambor plays the guy who's the immediate replacement for Stalin. And the way it's played out, and this is, I think, a very typical political path that happens, is he's a real failure. He sucks.
yeah.
So it's able for Khrushchev, who's Buscemi plays, able for Khrushchev to just fucking hammer him and slide in and take power.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be something similar, hopefully from more progressive left.
Yeah, I
in
hope that's
America.
kind of what people realize is that, like,
Come on, bud.
I mean, Biden obviously is not going to be able to run for re-election. He's going to be
Too old.
too old.
I mean, I just don't think he's going to survive the presidency.
Yeah, I mean, he is.
And whether he dies or whether he's just like, I'm too tired, I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
So there's not enough Adderall to keep me going.
Yeah. Growth hormone or whatever they give these guys these days.
Well, definitely the beta blockers came in handy for him in those last couple of elections. He was fucking kind of smooth as ice.
What does the beta blocker do?
So what it does is it makes it so you can't have any cortisol response. So you don't ever get anxious or nervous. And it's just like being super smooth. I feel like there's a lot of performers, a lot of performers,
Sure.
that benefit from beta blockers.
Yeah.
I've heard that, when people go and do their first big Carnegie Hall or whatever like that, it's like they take a beta blocker to... Is it still going?
Still going. Yeah, I think so. I'm good. I just double checking, make sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Because it puts you in that... It doesn't have any narcotic effect. You don't feel high. You just feel smooth and present.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everyone get beta blockers?
Well, you can if you have an anxiety disorder.
I have anxiety.
Yeah. Typically when you get the prescription, you ask for the beta blocker, they will prescribe it as needed, meaning if you have an anxiety producing thing that you have to do, you take the beta blocker before it.
Like getting up in the morning.
I don't know if they work for daily.
Yeah.
It might be one of those things where you just stop getting the effect of it after a while.
Yeah. What's your dog's name?
Barney. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce Barney. Nute Barney.
Barney!
Yeah.
There's no cars after this point, right?
Yeah, which is great.
Okay, so here we go, Nute. Let's see how you do.
Is he okay off leash?
Yeah, I mean, so we got Nute. I think this is our coming up on 3rd year with Nute.
Oh, look at that.
We got him on Oscar Sunday. And we rescued him from a place called Dogs Without Borders, which is a great organization.
Do they rescue dogs from Mexico or something like that?
No, they rescue them from kill shelters where they're going to get put down. They basically rescue the dogs that are going to get euthanized. So, we had called out one dog.
Come on, bud.
And the lady was like, I don't think this dog is a good match for your lifestyle because Lisa and I both work. And then she was like, do you have any other dogs? And my girlfriend had seen a picture of Nute, but he was very emaciated.
Yeah.
And looked shaky and scared. And it was this grainy black and white photo. And I was like, well, I don't know about this dog, but I thought we had been trying to find a dog for a while. We had found a couple of dogs, and then the day of, they got adopted before we could get them, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, you always met the dog first and hung out with the dog, but they were just like,
take him.
You get him for a week.
Oh, okay.
You have to keep him for 48 hours. They give you food. They give you everything. Yeah, and so the lady's like, I thought we were like, oh, well, this dog's interesting. She's like, cool, you pick him up on Sunday. And I was like, wait, what?
Do it now.
And I was
Go.
I was like, okay. And we were actually dog sitting 2 French bulldogs, so.
Oh no.
What a toughie.
Watch out, Barney. Hold me back.
So
Chihuahua in a dress.
look at him.
Look at this balancing act he's got going on.
Yeah, he's right now he's walking on the curb, balancing. I think I treated him for doing this before, and so now he just always does it.
Yeah. Look at that. I could always think about getting Barney into the act. So you had the 2 French bulldogs.
So she couldn't go. My girlfriend Lisa couldn't go. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll go pick him up on Sunday. So it just rained, which is unusual for LA. And this place was kind of a deep valley, off of the highway. And underneath an overpass. Like one of those roads where you think it's an on-ramp, but it's not, and it's just a dead end.
Oh, yeah.
And then you get scared.
I want to say up Tahunga.
Yeah.
Sun Valley.
Yeah, Sun Valley kind of area.
Yeah.
So I pull up. It had been raining. The house was on this pretty large piece of land with 2 circles of chain link fence kind of. And it was very murky and muddy at the time, and there's just sounds of dogs howling and things. And
like you're coming into either Deliverance or a horror movie.
Yeah, it felt very True Detective-y. It felt very, it had these kind of weepy, willowy trees, these kind of hanging trees, and the rain had made them hang even more. So they were it definitely had a very Louisiana vibe to it, honestly. Yeah. And so I walk up and I go through one set of gates and I go to the next one, and then I get to the house, and it's kind of, all houses in LA are either
ranch houses,
rundown ranch houses, or expensive houses. There's no kind of middle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of run down, and I knock on the door, and this chorus of howling, and down this dark hall comes this guy, and he's kind of wearing jeans with holes in them, and he's wearing kind of a long t-shirt that's stretched out a little bit, and he's got a kind of, Nute, come here.
He's like, but they're friendly.
No.
They're nice. You can go say hi, Barney.
Oh, you want to say hi? You can. See?
No? Okay.
Muy simpático. Sí, very.
Yeah, so friendly.
Senor Nute. Ah.
Does Nute speak Spanish?
Habla? I think he's from Mexico for some reason.
Oh, he's got a little Chihuahua in him for sure.
Yeah. But, so I walk up, I knock on the door. This guy comes. You know, he looks like the bass player for a grunge band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like retired, like 20, 30 years ago.
Thin, gaunt. And here's the thing is that when you go to adoptions, a lot of the dogs, they don't have names. They just give them random names.
Yeah. That Barney. Yeah, I'll tell you the Barney story. But yeah, I would not have named him Barney, but it's fine. And I consider him more of a Barney Fife than like a Barney the purple dinosaur.
Well, his name was Mr. Brown.
Ugh.
So,
like from Pulp Fiction?
I don't know. Yeah, he's Nute, where are you going?
Oh, there's a bunch of dogs over there. He's probably curious. Well, what about them? I want to smell their butts. What a sweetie pie.
¿A dónde va, señor?
Mr. Brown. What, like I'm Mr. Shit?
Yeah. But I'm in this in front of this rundown house in the valley with a guy who...
The Deep Valley. Past places like Satakoy.
Yeah. This isn't Suburbs Valley.
No.
And I'm like, yeah, can I get Mr. Brown? I'm here for Mr. Brown. And I realized that it just sounds like I'm buying heroin at this point.
Right?
Like, as I'm saying it, I'm like, this feels like a drug deal. And he's like, I'll be right back with him. And I was like, wow. And then he disappears on this long hallway. And it's like, if he comes back with like
a
bag of white dope, I'm gonna be.
That would be amazing. But I also, whoa!
Oh no!
Well, it's a tail, poor thing.
Oh no! Come here.
Oh, just sit for a second. That was hilarious. Oh my god, poor thing. Yeah, he dropped the retractable leash, and the dog was running as if it was being chased by it.
But yeah, didn't realize that its own retractable leash was haunting it. And then what's weird is that Nute is a very protective dog to other dogs, so
yeah, so he went and tried to get involved.
Nute was like, I gotta get this red thing. This red retractable leash is attacking a brother of mine. So I ask for Mr. Brown, and he disappears, and I cross my fingers and hope I didn't just order smack. And out of the darkness down this deep hallway bolts this sort of copper Chihuahua Italian Greyhound mixed dog.
I think he's got Italian Greyhound in him too.
Oh yeah, it's pretty common.
Yeah.
And
I think it also some kind of Spitz because of the curly tail.
Yeah. Well, he's got Pomeranian.
Yeah, Pomeranian. What?
Yeah.
Wait a second. I think Barney is Pomeranian, Italian Greyhound, and probably some Chihuahua if you look at his fucked up grill.
Yeah. It's a real common mix. It's basically all the popular small dogs from 10 years ago. Yeah,
and he probably just got the short hair gene rather than the fluffy hair gene.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this dog bolts down the hallway, slams his front paws on the door, and looks up at me. And the guy opens the door, and Nute comes around and puts his paws on my legs, and just looks up with me with these huge eyes. And he's like, is this it? Am I done, or am I out of this place? Am I saved?
Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Get me the fuck out of this place.
And so, I sit there, and the guy's like, I have to go get his stuff, his food, and his carrying case and stuff like that. And I was his carrier and everything, and I was like, I didn't want to commit to adopting the dog. I wanted to get to know the dog.
Yeah.
So
you didn't want to fall in love with him, right?
I didn't want to fall in love, and I didn't want to give the guy a false sense of hope.
Yeah.
So but I'm now sobbing, and so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just wait over here. And they have this little patio with a round table and patio chairs and an umbrella. That was also an additional fenced-in area. So I go over there and I sit down, and Nute goes and patrols the perimeter of the fence, smells everything, then gets right on my lap and perches and faces out and puts his ears up.
Oh.
And, it's like the thing of like both protective and possessive at the same time.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're mine. I have you. You don't have to worry anymore. I will tell you if something dangerous comes. What do you... Nute, come here. No, Nute.
Did he get a little thing in his paw?
Oh, I thought he just had something underneath
his paw. I always got to... Barney's got this great thing. He'll just stop and he'll just lift up his paw that needs to be worked on.
Okay. I thought he had like a bone or something underneath there.
Oh, yeah. I had to fucking grab 3 bones out of his mouth yesterday.
So...
Bastard. Yeah, so he would again, it's a weird thing. Like they definitely can burrow into our hearts.
Yeah, immediately.
But also he was ready to get out of there, and he could tell you were a soft mark.
Yeah. He knew what was up.
He knew that you had the sweetness. Yeah, it's something kind of similar with Barney, except I kind of went to local pounds, and this was East Valley Pound, over whatever in Van Nuys, I guess, basically, and the East Valley, and. I'd gone there, let's say the day before I adopted him, looking at all the fucking shitty dogs there. Just so many pit bulls and pit bull mixes that people just cannot, they just can't handle them. They're just too much of a dog.
Yeah, man, people need to stop with the, I think pit bulls are really beautiful, but
they need fucking attention. They need to be handled. They need they need to be run hard 2 or 3 times a day.
I was mauled by a pit bull recently. So
oh shit!
Yeah.
Well, you look all right, so I guess it wasn't.
It wasn't. Thankfully, I was inches from really being in trouble. I was running and it was sitting. The guy had him leashed in front of a diner, and it
just jerked out
and it bit me on the back of the leg, but it only got the top row of its teeth into me, and it wasn't able to clamp, and I'd fallen down. No, where are you going?
It's a puppy, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah. Oh, okay. Then they'll get along. He just has puppy energy. I always have to be careful with him and puppies because he's just he always wants to punk them. I always say it's like prison rules. You know what I mean? It's like, are you the new guy in the yard? Oh, well, he's adorable though. What's his name? Vasco.
Hi.
All right. He seems all right. Yeah, my guy's super worn out, so he's not going to start any trouble. This is his second hike of the day.
Mine's detached emotionally, so don't need to worry about it.
Hilarious.
This is as close as he'll get.
Yeah, it's funny. I always say, oh, look, he wants to play. I always say that Barney is usually not into other dogs, but is super, or anything. He's just super protective of me.
And that. Oh.
Aw.
His name's Sir Oscar Isaac Neutron.
Sir Isaac Neutron. Are you jealous, Bosco? I want to pet you, but he will not.
Yeah, I feel the same. I had to play so cool. I had to play.
We think he's probably 7.
I just noticed the gray.
Yeah, he's got. I think it's he's in post Legends of the Fall Brad Pitt phase.
Yeah.
He's got the gray in his goatee.
Oh, he definitely. Oh, look at that.
Oh, see what? Look at Nute checkmates him.
Yes, exactly. No, pay attention to me. We are in Hollywood. This is, they're all attention whores.
Nute, come here.
What a sweetie.
Yeah, buddy. Here. Hi. Yeah.
That's it? That's it? You too.
Thank you. You guys too.
Good boy. Good boy.
So then you found Bosco at a shelter?
Barney.
Sorry, that's Bosco.
I know. Yeah, so it was East Valley Pound. I went there the day before, surveyed all these fucking shitty dogs. Then I saw him. He was all covered in dreads and was just a little mopey, but he was in with a Pekingese or a Maltese or something like that. And this fucking dog was punking him. He would bite on the dreadlocks and then just kind of parade in front of the thing. No, choose me. And Barney would fade to the back.
Aww.
Then we came back the next day because I was so he was on a 3-week hold. Uh-oh, we're going to get in trouble.
Oh, no.
We're going to be yelled at by the cops.
Is that true?
I think time to go that way. We can go up a trail here. This is just nice neutral height. Have you been to this backstage area before?
No, what is this?
So this is like one of their main yards. But yeah, we can keep going. This is great because this is like a secret entrance. It comes up into the middle of the neighborhood here. So I feel like as far as like I guess I've discovered all the little. There's like some kind of weird lab or something over there. I don't know what's going on. I've discovered, except for like the part of the park on the other side of the observatory. That's the only part I haven't really. I mean, I found years ago, and I want to find this place again. Not because. So I found the cruisy part of Griffith Park, which I think is above the observatory.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was being like, there's gentlemen kind of
interesting.
skirting around.
I'm so naive to that stuff that even when I'm in it,
I had heard about it, and I didn't. It was like, I'd heard about it, rumors, and then when I ended up in it, I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh, there's sure a lot of men that are just standing at the end of these trails, just kind of like, just gently touching themselves or whatever. I was like, oh shit, I'm in the cruisy part of the park.
Oh, weird. I just assume they're stretching. I just assume they're doing calisthenics.
Well, yeah, but I think this part is known for it because I was also wearing my Vibram 5 toes. And I was taking them out for like I was like, I can hike anywhere. And I kind of went through I was kind of like cutting through to get back to my car and cut through like a little thicket. And in the middle of the thicket was like, I will just say a fucking orgy of fucking condoms and little fucking fast food napkins. Like they go into this little thicket to get their rocks off and then they come out. And I of course had my fucking crazy toe. I was like, I'm going to get a condom on my toe. So I go run through that and I'm like, oh my God, I got to get the fuck out of here. So I do it again. I cross through another thicket, even more, like 500 condoms. and again, like McDonald's napkins just crumbled up. And I was like, oh, I get it now. You just carry around some condoms and some fucking fast food napkins in your pocket. You walk to that area. You fucking find a dude that's, I don't know how the math works. Like, do I fuck you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it works, but I fucking got in my car and I got the fuck out of there. That was enough for me. Back to East Valley Pound.
Not that there's anything wrong with consensual sexual.
No, but it also puts me in this place of like, not that I missed out on anything. I'm just, at this point, wired to be straight.
Yeah.
As, I mean, all the fucking social conditioning worked.
Yeah.
But it really amazes me how easily and available sex can be if you're in that mindset. Just thinking about fucking what's his head? Last Christmas I Gave You My Heart.
Oh, George Michael
going into I think it was in a bathroom in this park.
Yeah.
He just was like, okay, boop.
Well, you should read. Have you ever read Please Kill Me?
Oh, the
oral history of
early punk.
Yeah.
I might even have a copy of it at home. I have not read it yet.
But they talk about, I think, HIV.
It's, what's his head? Legs McNeil, yeah.
And another guy. But I think, that's one thing that HIV
kind of curtailed
bisexuality in men was like those kids were like,
what into whatever.
They were just like, well, I mean, like getting a BJ from anyone is who gives a shit, right?
Yeah.
That's why like 53rd and 3rd, like they were also like doing, hold on, there's a child pumping of a bike tire, so I want to hold on.
Yeah.
Finish the story once we get back.
Yes, but I'll get back to the East Valley Pound.
Let's talk about your dog.
Speaking about pounding.
You did it.
But yeah, he was in there with this Maltese, and he was on a 3-week hold, which usually means like the family brought him in, and they just put him on a 3-week hold just in case the family changes their mind and wants to come back and get the dog.
Yeah.
So my theory is that he was put there because there was a lot of negligence going on with him because of the dreadlocks. That he had some kind of older person that was his.
Barney.
That's all right. He was being shady because of the fucking guy on the bike, not because of us.
Yeah.
Fucking pigs. You don't know what they're going to find to bust you for.
Yeah, no shit.
They'll keep digging until they can give you a ticket. So I think he had an older person that was taking care of him, and maybe their health changed or they died or
Yeah.
something, and so he's put up for adoption because those dreads, they were older than 3 weeks,
Right.
you know. And the picture, you know, like you said, he was a bedraggled fucking skeleton. He
Yeah.
was just like, he looked so sad, and you could see his fur was just like, just all matted up, and he just looked like the saddest little thing in his adoption picture. But we get him out into the little meet and greet area, and again, like he did that, he pulled a fucking manipulative
Yeah,
move.
yeah.
He went right behind my legs, like, I need your protection, protect me. I was like, oh.
Well, there's a really good book called Inside Your Dog,
Oh, okay.
which is a sort of woman who is doing sort of using modern understanding of animals to talk about dog behavior. So it's not relying on all of the old sort of tropes and things like that. She's trying to start from scratch, essentially. It's really interesting, but like, you know, one thing they talk about is most animals will not hold eye contact with humans, and dogs are genetically bred to make eye contact with you.
Oh, sure, that makes sense.
And so, like, that's part of it. Like, they'll lock eyes with you and hold it until and that builds connection and trust immediately.
Yeah.
And actually, like, if someone out there decides to get a dog and they want to know where to start training, if you have a dog, like, and you want to, like, start training it, and you're like, he won't sit, won't stay, whatever, the first thing you can do that's very, very easy to do is get a piece of food, hold it in front of your nose, and just have them look at you in the eye for as long as you can. And just do that as much as you can, and get them comfortable with making eye contact with you and understanding that you are not a threat, but that you are also the person who has the food, and that it creates a bond and an understanding of your roles in each other.
Okay. That connection. So,
And it builds confidence in them, because they may have, if they come from a place where they were abused,
yeah,
their whole
not used to
persona,
having eye contact with their
Right.
abuser. Yeah.
The normal symbiotic relationship between them and a human being has been mutated. You know, like it's been destroyed.
Destroyed. It's interesting biochemically. It triggers the same place in our brains that looking at babies.
Yeah.
The release of the oxytocin and the.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've for sure, and their eyes and their faces have been mutated
Genetically
to look
modified,
like
so they have big
child's.
baby eyes
Yeah.
and their tiny heads.
I mean, they're like anime. Like, if you look at how anime is drawn, it's like very similar.
The term is called neoteny, Neotony, and it's this tendency for us to be, let's say, biochemically attracted to younger things, like protecting babies and dogs,
Right,
and
right.
that anime ratio of eyes to heads.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Legs McNeil.
So
now that we don't have a child pumping a fucking tire, no, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
gonna get that explicit ranking.
I mean,
yeah,
I just tag it that way no matter what. I drop so many F-bombs.
And a lot of those guys, like, if you listen to the Ramones 53rd and 3rd, which is, trying to turn some tricks, things like that, where, like, basically HIV, and this is sort of instructive to how what's happening with COVID, which is that, like, HIV, the conservatives just use it as, like, a sledgehammer, right? So, like, what was happening? Sexual revolution, the destigmatization of bisexuality and homosexuality, the normalization of drug use,
And Tran and all that stuff was really...
the destruction of, like, people. There were swingers, there were non-traditional families, like, a lot of stuff that we think of that has only recently started happening again, we think of as new, but, like, all of this stuff was happening post, 60s,
yeah.
post 70s.
All that communal living and acid and...
Yeah, we had really broken things down, like, burning, like, something like people who were, like, Burning Man people, like, that was the thing that was already happening, and then HIV basically stopped it, like...
Yeah. Okay, this makes... I'll tell you, like, personally, I do remember, I'm old enough that I remember where I was when it was announced that Rock Hudson died of AIDS.
I'm 44, so I do remember the explosion of it.
Yeah.
and like.
Oh, and I know it, but I also know it affected, besides all the cultural push towards heteronormativity, the idea that you could die from fucking,
Right.
it was so ingrained in my consciousness.
Right.
I'm very uptight. I mean, even though, like, let's say intellectually, I'm super like progressive, liberal, open, blah blah blah. Everybody can do whatever they want. Personally, I'm kind of a little squeamish because of
You're risk averse, and you've
Yeah.
been taught that. Yeah, and I mean, we should all be safe and because there's also other things out there, and we should all be careful, and there are repercussions to doing things irresponsibly.
Oh, really? There must be some fertilizer there, huh, bud?
Oh yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah, gotta get that that dirt on you. He loves horse pee also,
Oh, someone's gonna get a bath.
which is not so bad. In the I think we can go. Cromwell will take us back to Hillhurst.
We can go straight down and just like cut through
Okay.
the hood a little bit, but
Oh yeah, let's do that. If you know the area.
yeah. So
Come on, bud.
we can swing by Little Dom's and then go back up to 76,
Okay.
make it a full circle.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. So yeah, this is what I was saying. Like, this is a little secret entrance off of Commonwealth. If you, instead of going down the little,
Yeah.
because you can go the little angle route back onto Hillhurst, but if you keep going straight up, you can hit that. Basically, it's the backstage of this part of Griffith Park. Yes.
So I think that like that these guys were all like, hey, well, I don't care if this dude sucks me off or
Yeah, if that's what he wants to do, fucking
you know,
great. I'll
and
come.
also if I get $15 out of it, so I can buy. But also like
heroin.
the way they bought coke and heroin was like they went into a place, they said what they wanted, the guy sold it to them, and then they left, and it was all very safe and
yeah.
relatively safe and normalized.
As it should be. I mean, it's like this whole idea, like I hate, and again, this is like kind of the abortion debate goes down these lines too, that anybody out there thinks that they can tell you what to put in your body or not.
Yeah.
Or what to take out of your body, I guess. Oh, Barney just wants to live at this little quaint house.
I mean, me too, Barney. Me
Yeah.
too.
Got to figure out some digital scam.
Got a Bitcoin. Yeah, I just think that like it's I think one of the things that we have to start that technology and the digital era needs to give us that you couldn't really have in the past as much, and this kind of goes for Trump. This goes for everything in our current state, which is like getting rid of recency bias. Like when someone says like, "Well, Trump is the worst president ever,"
Well, they forget Andrew Jackson.
right? Or is it Woodrow Wilson? Like who else? Like there's
Fucking Truman, goddamn fucking bombed he's the greatest mass murderer of history.
right. So I'm not saying I think Trump is a very bad person and is in the bucket of bad presidents, which is also to argue that.
Real quick though, I want to point this. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
They've got both the nativity scene with some kind of glow-in-the-dark Jesus. There's a glow-in-the-dark Jesus watching over a glow-in-the-dark baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Which is freaking me out. I mean, like, is it?
Well, I think these are the wise men here.
Over here on this side, yeah.
That's the wise men. There's Jesus in the manger. There's Joseph. There's Mary. There's all the animals. There's the angels. This is a shepherd.
Okay, you don't think that that's future Jesus?
No, I don't think.
Okay.
I don't think that's future Jesus, but they do also have
Snowmen and Mr. Pumpkins,
Penguins.
Penguins, Mr. Poppins. What was that Jim Carrey movie?
Yeah, Mr. Pop, which is an interpretation of the Bible in a way,
Yeah,
right?
it is, right.
And Santa Claus and the reindeer. So
Well, those Santa, but this the reindeer in his empty sled. Oh no, there he is.
there's a little Santa there.
He's waving down. He's waving down the sled. I mean, it's very delightful. I love all the production design that they've done.
Yeah.
But I also like. Oh, sorry, bud. They're
Pardon,
getting their cake and eat it too. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll carry you a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna carry you like a little baby.
I can't tell the level of sincerity, I guess.
Well, I think that the nativity scene is almost always has to come from a sincere space.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't go out of your way to put up a snarky nativity scene.
Oh, I would.
I would, but again, like part of me is like, I would never want to spend the money on a nativity scene because it's like, wait, I'm buying a bunch of fucking plastic fucking baby Jesus.
Oh man, I just had this idea of like, that there's like some art school student who did like a nativity scene where it's like Ronald McDonald.
Well, that's fucking
over a Mickey Mouse manger. Like,
isn't that like Ron English? You know Ron English?
No.
He's kind of like the first big kind of like subvertising artist. He's the one who draws the big fat Ronald McDonald.
Okay.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money off of his little plastic toys. I'm gonna try to invite him on the podcast. I'm just gonna start reaching out to all the crazy weirdos on my Facebook.
Well, I know that, like, everyone's lonely, so
yes,
you can
this
book
is why
them on
I
a
did this.
hiking podcast,
Because you could socially distance, you could wear your mask, it's outdoors.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh, it's just lots of cops. We live in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I guess they're back in force now that it's like people are less afraid.
Well, it's fun because they're driving down Los Feliz, which is where they shot a man because he had a radiator cap in his hand.
Well, this is, I mean, all cops are bastards. I've been working on a joke, and I'll tell you the basic outline of it is, cops are bad at their job because they can basically witness their buddy murdering somebody, and they can't even solve that crime.
Yeah,
they're
good.
fucking terrible at their job.
Well, that's sort of like the one about, like, sex assaults. It's like, well, if we defund all the police, who's going to cause all the sex assaults?
Yeah. Who's gonna ignore all the rape kits?
Yeah,
it's just, we've got, I feel like this is definitely, I've been talking a lot about, like, it's what the market demands.
Yeah.
Is basically qualified immunity because we have to protect property over human life. And as a result, the extruded fucking result of that is just it's a murder factory. They're just fucking, that's what the market demands is like they have guns, they must shoot them.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. But it's by design, whatever.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like, there's the first episode of Star Trek Next Generation.
With Tasha Yar.
Yeah. Well, there's this god creature who comes in and he's basically putting humans on trial, right? And one of the pieces of evidence is in 2030 there will be militarized police with full body armor who were fueled by drugs.
Oh shit.
And that's literally what we have.
Yeah.
Like, we have a fully militarized police force, and they're all on coke and steroids.
Well, steroids and Adderall, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe coke too.
They like coke.
I mean, I think it's tough to. I think Adderall is a little more. You could sustain the fucking angst longer.
Yeah.
Coke is a little bit pricey to be.
Well, they don't pay
fueling
for their
yourself.
drugs.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if you took a uniform off of a cop nowadays, and you took the clothing off of a quote-unquote criminal, and you put them next to each other,
they look the fucking
they
same.
look the same. Like, it's a dude with
their
sleeve tattoos and
fucking yoked on the roids.
Yeah, like,
and fucking that scowl, the "fuck you" scowl on
yeah,
their face.
it's so weird. And if you go like I was in London where police don't have guns, and I'm sure British people complain about their police too, but not quite as. They're not where we are.
The Bobby, he took my beer away.
Yeah. I don't think the Bobby would even give a shit if you had a beer.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
But also, when you look at cops, like when you see footage of like Italian cops or Swedish cops or whatever, they're all just like skinny dudes.
Yeah.
They're just regular old dudes.
Yeah. There's like two types of cops in America. It's like chunk and steroids.
Yeah.
But
all the LA County sheriffs that are in the non-fancy parts of L.A., like, Bell Gardens and stuff like that, they're all the fucking tubby ones.
Yeah.
Where like Cerritos has all the fucking skinny ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so, yeah, it's just sort of, we've created when that episode aired,
Oh, yeah.
that was like, oh, this is
prophecy.
an insane thing that will never actually happen. And I'm like, oh, it happened.
Now we just need to be post-scarcity and have food replicators and, like people like Data.
Data would be a good Star Trek character. A robot that is Dadaist.
Yeah,
like,
yes. Well, again, like they should be triplets, right?
Yeah.
Data, Lore, and Data,
Yeah.
who is just like, yeah, he's exactly surreal. He's kind of out there.
He opens his mouth and colors come out visuals come out instead of sound.
Oh.
Yeah. Boy. Well, everybody, I hope everyone learned something from this. Well, so to finish up the story,
Yeah.
Nute comes home with us, and the dogs were dog sitting go away, and Lisa and I are sitting there watching the Oscars, and Monday is work, and we're both trying to figure out how we're going to deal with Nute at work.
Yeah, while you're at
schedule.
work. Yeah.
And I'm starting to get a lot of anxiety about it.
Yeah.
And
For
she's
sure.
she's like, look, we'll deal with it for the next 48 hours. And if we can't make it work, we return him. And I look up at her and I'm just crying. I'm like, we can't return him. Like, that's not the option.
Oh.
And so I ended up taking him to work, because this kind of goes back to whether Nute is... This is the answer to your question, which was, is Nute good off leash?
Wow, look at this. It carried through almost the whole podcast.
Yeah. It's a herald. So
that means you're what? You're the astronaut president now?
yeah, in the space White House, doing surgery. So I was working at Occidental Studios at the time, and I had to go in and open the stages at like 5 a.m. And I went in and I just brought him with me, and he just
hung around,
and like he was. I didn't ask permission. I didn't know if it was okay to bring him. I just did, and he just walked around with me all day, and he was
super chill.
Yeah, and so he's a lot. Normally, he comes to work with me. I'm currently an assistant director on a show, and like
nice.
He will normally come with me to work, except for COVID kind of doesn't allow for that right now, but. He'll come around, he'll follow me around pretty closely most of the day, and then like at around lunchtime he'll find a curtain on the stage, and he'll curl up in that curtain and fall asleep. And then I work at stop motion, and one of the animators will be like, your dog is asleep on my stage. I'm like, okay. And he just sits there for a couple hours sleeping. And
wow.
He gets tuckered out because
Yeah.
First half of the day he's
just out
anxiously
and about,
like trying to keep up with me, and I'm moving around a lot. And then the back half of the day he's like, I'm so exhausted.
What I find is like they definitely, smaller dogs too, they're definitely good for about 2 hours. Then they need a big break.
Oh yeah, he's gonna go home and
he's gonna crash out in the car and then I have a third one today. I stacked 3 because this was when everybody was available.
Yeah.
But wow, this was good.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had fun.
Hey, Ed. That was fucking fantastic.
I'm glad you had a good time. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Watch Robot Chicken, the Archie special, or Robot Chicken Season 11, and look for my name on the titles.
Holy shit.
So, yeah.
Stupid Buddies.
Yep, we're at Stupid Buddies right now.
It's a good, I heard it's a good place.
If you have kids who like cars, Monster Truck Island and Hot Wheels City, we worked on those.
Produced those too?
Yeah, so for full screen, rest in peace. But
that's where they originated. And now Stupid Buddies just owns the...
Well, no, Full Screen is a separate company that we did stuff for Mattel with.
Gotcha. So they still exist out there in the world.
Yeah, Mattel still exists. Full Screen is Warner Brothers, and I think it went out of business. So
Hopefully that wasn't a problem.
I think I talk loud enough. I don't think anyone's
it'll
gonna.
be great. Whatever. Good. Well, good. This is awesome. I'll probably hit you up in a couple more weeks. Why not, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do. There was originally I was doing these 5 days a week, which is a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
But still, if I could get 2 or 3 or whatever.
A lot of steps though.
Well,